I am about to discuss something I don't typically discuss in public. But since I'd like to make this video public, I'm going to discuss this. I want to direct your attention, if you're watching, to my public playlists. I'm not directing you to my private playlists because you can't see them and they are for me. One of them is My Politics in Part. And I capitalize in part because I don't believe this to be my whole politics. If you look through the videos in there, 22 videos. And I like to include whole speeches. I have a hashtag, I listen to the whole speech. It never ceases to amaze me how certain media outlets will only spin narratives that are in line with their overall cause. It has never been in good interest for CNN or the Washington Post to report negatively about 9/11 type stuff. But if it's an opportunity to bash, I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I'm going to use two words that have become so horrible in this particular part of U.S. history. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. I keep seeing a commercial that shows a teary-eyed family talking about how Donald Trump was making fun of disability as a whole. But I want to direct your attention, hence why I put it into my playlist. And I will try to include these links in the description. I had them and then they went away. I want to direct your attention to the links I put in the description, because I want you to remember that when you watch a commercial, that does not mean you watch the speech. I'm going to try to put on the link a timestamp, but I know it to be somewhere about 44 minutes into Donald Trump's speech on 11/24/2015, because he had to defend the claims that he saw people celebrating when 9/11 was happening. CNN tried, when he made this statement, to say it had already been debunked. Google Donald Trump reporter, South Carolina, and tell me how easy it is to find the whole speech. And even when you say Donald Trump 9/11 reporter, it may get you a lot closer to finding the whole speech in which he was defending claims. He had to defend his claims when it was reported at the time. So I also found a link, documentation, Vindicate, Donald Trump's claims of 9/11 Muslim celebrations. That link hopefully will be in the description if it does not get deleted. That video, I mean. But you have to search for vindication for certain things, where they can just straight up say, oh, this is a hoax, this is an urban legend. Find the amount of reports from CNN and the like who will say publicly, oh, well, this has been debunked, this is a hoax, this is an urban legend. There's another very fringe movie that existed a few years back, and I had a good friend that I did a podcast with, and we discussed some of the mainstream facts that did not add up in that time period. It's a very scary time for the world. But in this movie, it's a very hard movie to watch. There's a lot of really sad truths. But I will say this. There were parts on that movie where they showed people celebrating. So I knew as soon as Trump made that statement, I saw it myself too. But you can't go to mainstream media and see it unless somebody pulls it out from the privacy. And the disabled, so to speak, reporter, if anybody, see, here's the problem I have. I've been in this field for a long time. If anybody has a disability, that's why I don't like that particular word. We're going to go PC on this. This guy was able to report a story 14 years ago, shortly after 9/11, from the Washington Post that said he saw people celebrating. There were reports of people celebrating. Then, in that clip of that whole speech, what Donald Trump was saying from the Washington Post, who absolutely hates me anyway, now they're detracting their story. 14 years ago, this man is saying, I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what I said. I'm not sure. But the good news is, friends, I've made some of the work a little bit easier for you. In the description, until it gets deleted, I have some of the claims that happened at the time. Dan Rather, the commissioner, Giuliani, some of the people involved at the time, some of the big names involved at the time that were reporting, that publicly said these things were happening. We don't agree with it, we don't like it, but these things happened. But how quick, when the narrative of 9/11 comes up from the wrong lens, how important it is to make sure you debunk that. And how appropriate that the Orlando shooter, who was one of the 9/11 attack supporters, how appropriate that the day that the Orlando thing happened and that big story broke, that's when Hillary Clinton's super PAC and commercial machine, if people are going to look at this speech that Trump made about this, they might see some parallels. So we need to go after what could potentially be his attack on an ABLED Washington Post reporter who changed his story. If he was disabled, could he have made a report? No, he made a report. So therefore, disability is an incorrect term. But watch it. Because the spin says that he was making fun of the man. I am not going to jump to his defense that he has always got an out here. But I saw that speech in its entirety. I watched it. And I know that the larger issue of 9/11 attack supporters is a pretty big fucking problem. And because of that, I will not allow commercials that use that speech, a clip from that speech, to deter the actual message that he was trying to convey. That I saw it, people reported it, and now they're trying to say it never happened. That's why I'm making this video, because it did happen. Watch it or don't watch it, or click away or unsubscribe. But I appreciate you listening. I've tried to make the work as easy for you as I can. It's about a 15-minute part of his speech, not maybe less. Hopefully my video will be less than that. I don't publicly confirm who I'm going to vote for until after the fact. I voted for Ron Paul in the last election. And Obama's first term, I didn't really like McCain. I wrote in Jesus Christ. But that was who I wrote in the first election. So yeah, did I throw my vote away? I don't know. But that's my politics in part. And I'm actually possibly sharing a public video on it. And I'm trying to click to stop it, and that doesn't work.